The Vigil issue 2, Ram V writing with Leelit Kumar Sharma on the art. So, we praised the first issue of this to the high heavens. Well, maybe not Connor because he wasn't here, but
I wasn't. I had to read both issues. I like it a lot. No. I like it a lot. I think I potentially got it overhyped by you two very slightly.
Okay.
Maybe. I still think it's very good.
Yeah.
But I don't. It might not even be my favorite of the 3, We Are Legends books.
Wow.
It's like neck and neck with Spirit World for me, but for very wildly different reasons.
Yeah.
They're vastly different books, and I love that both of them exist.
Okay.
This fills the void that Checkmate left.
I think this is a better crafted comic than Spirit World is. I want to say that for a start. But there's something about the vibe and the fun that I get out of Spirit World that I think I enjoy more on a monthly-ish basis.
Yeah.
I think this will be a phenomenal trade, though.
This one went to some places I wasn't ready for an espionage book. That last page threw me for quite a doozy.
Yeah.
So if Ram V can keep doing this, like keeping me on my toes by, just when I think that, this is a superhero espionage book like Checkmate.
It got wild.
Well, I think there's a couple of things it does. One, it focuses in on one of the team members for the actual mission part of the story, which is good because it lets us get to know one of them more, which is, I think, smart after the first issue where you get like a little taste of all of them. So that's good. I think it also, like you say, adds this extra element in by the end where it's like, okay, the guy who's running this place, they're Calder, if you will.
Yeah.
The doctor. There's more going on with him because he goes into this alternate reality or whatever it is at the end.
Like some void of some kind.
Yeah.
Ethereal space full of
But
fish. I don't know if they're ships. Like some of them look like mechanical ships styled after fish. Some of them just have eyes. They just look like giant weird alien fish.
Yeah. But so the character we get a lot of this issue is Arclight. Who is someone who lost his family because of it was a plant accident that spread chemicals around this town and killed everyone.
Right, that might have been to deal with the state having a land grab.
Yeah.
To get that area.
So that's left him kind of in this rough place where he doesn't want to come back to duty because he was in the military or whatever. And cut to present day, and he's Arclight now. And he's breaking into this location. This is where they tracked that package that they destroyed the item in last issue, but they put a tracker on like a decoy package to see where it was going. And that's where
it went.
Yeah, this is where Arclight's going in, this Camp Weston, which turns out to be a place where the villains here have been experimenting on children to see if they can control the weather. Because they tied weather to like emotions, but because kids don't have like the blocks up that adults do to like sort of control their emotions.
What's now you said the villains did this?
I say villains, yeah. I was just
the U.S. government.
Well, I was same thing.
It was a general term just for the
yes, but I think important to note this comes from a U.S. government program.
Yeah,
right. There's a U.S. government program. So when they get to Camp Weston, there's this like array of antennas, right? They're like old school.
It looks like a
TV antennas.
Yeah, it looks like a grid almost the way they're laid out.
And which reminds me, there's a place in Alaska called HAARP, HAARP, right? That is very similar to this, that conspiracy theories have been abound for years, that it's a weather control station, right? So the fact that I feel like Ram V pulling from that with the Vigil here, playing in those dark shadows, and him using this version of it to have a place where, it's even worse than just controlling the weather. It's experimenting on kids.
And they set up as well that all the like places surrounding this place all had like weird weather disasters that drove everyone away. Like, a town nearby got flooded, another one got like a tornado or something like that.
Right.
So it sort of sets up that there's some weird anomalies going on here, and then when he gets in, we get a character that looks like a cyber techno horror style thing, or better yet, there's a direct comparison you can make with Saga, because Saga has like a race of characters who have TVs for heads.
You know what happened when it got to this part of the book?
Yeah,
I was like, this feels like a Doom Patrol book.
Yeah, there's a little Doom Patrol actually. Yeah, I feel like the tone of the book's different from Doom Patrol, because Doom Patrol has that sort of heart to it. This feels a little
zaniness.
Yeah, this feels a little bit more serious and darker than Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I'm not saying this is the same It's not a Doom Patrol book.
You know what Ram V
give
did?
me that like immediate like vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got really into 80s Morrison and went, what if I did Doom Patrol but with Animal Man's tone? And now we got the Vigil.
Yeah, it definitely feels like something you might get in like a techno horror story, or dare I say some sort of David Lynch like short or something.
So Arclight's getting making his way through the base, right?
TV
And he
show.
sees these the soldiers retreating, and they're like, it's awake, and I'm expecting some kind of monster, right? Some big,
And it's a kid with a TV head.
and it's a kid with like a TV camera on his head. Oh my god! But he can control the weather.
Yeah. We're saying TV because it looks kind of like a TV, but there's not a screen on it.
There's no screen. It's a box with an antenna.
Yeah, but it's got like a light in the middle instead of a screen.
Right.
But yeah, so immediately it's like, hey, this was something that was done to this, but this kid is like vaporizing people in front of him with these powers. Actually, you can almost say there's a little bit of a Stranger Things quality to this, because you see like a flashback to when the doctor who's running the team is talking about his experience with this place. Like you see a panel of like all these kids, and like one's like levitating Rubik's cubes, and it's like, oh, this was them experimenting on a bunch of children. There's definitely some Stranger Things kind of.
I did like that backstory bit where he's like, of course there's weather control conspiracies. Like humans have wanted to control the weather for millennia. Like it talks about rain dances, and Egypt.
It's the one thing that no matter how great our technology is, we're still at the mercy of Mother Nature.
Yeah.
I mean, we can make it rain.
Yeah, but you also you can't stop a hurricane.
Yeah.
Yet. I mean, a former president wanted to nuke them, so who knows?
Have we tried it? Do we know it doesn't work?
The other plot thread that comes up here is, so there was the murder of the guy that got was it Saha's the main woman who now works with the team? The guy that got her involved with the Vigil, he turned up dead at the end of last issue, right? And we go back to that crime scene, the cops are there, and there are two other team members, Dodge and the other one with the mask.
I forget his name.
Yeah, it's still learning because they're all new characters, but they're there to get some evidence themselves, and they collect this black goo that's at the crime scene, and then the tease we get of where it might have came from is this sniper where his eye is just black goo, but that's the eye that he's looking through the scope with, so it's like
and it's still like leaving residue on the scope as he takes his face away.
So this is an interesting potential villain we're setting up here with this black goo eye.
I do love it.
Yeah, and then he kills someone else as well, because we cut to him like lining up a shot, and then Mr. Wall, I think his name we get for him. Yeah. And so he kills someone in a building, at a business meeting. And
again, it doesn't look like bullets. It's just like
goo. Yeah,
blackness. It's just like this inky splotches is the way it's represented.
And we get a tease for the guy who's given him this order, which is a guy with a cane, which is like it's got like a shark like on the cane tip. And he's walking into LexCorp, and that's kind of the other tease. So we're teasing like these villains and like who the people are.
Well, because remember that the package that they intercepted was from LexCorp.
That's right. Yeah. No, I don't think Lex is behind anything here. I think this is someone who is using LexCorp for their own means rather than Lex himself.
I feel like that's why he's going, because the thing that they're supposed to get never made it. You know?
So I wouldn't be mad if Lex is involved on some level.
Sure, yeah, it wouldn't bother me, but it just kind of feels like it's separate from him at this point.
Yeah.
But you get the nice scene where Arclight has to talk down the kid who's like still trying to use his powers, and he basically has to stop him from going nuclear. I mean, not literally, but effectively.
For that sequence, as he's getting closer, and just walking towards the kid.
Yeah,
that's a fantastic sequence.
And then him basically like understanding where he comes from, because he lost his family, right? And so he's looking across on the kid, like, I know it's hard for you right now, and you just want to destroy everything. But just take a breath.
I think giving us this backstory on Arclight gives us the impression that all these characters who are on the team are probably all broken in some way. They've all got something that's led them here that we're probably going to find out throughout the story. It just fleshes them out a little bit. But
as much as these are our heroes, it does feel like they don't necessarily have much morals. Like Arclight just straight up eviscerates all those dudes outside. The kid makes it rain on them, and he just electrocutes all of them.
Bro, that might be one of my favorite moments in a comic, where he lets the kid, let him have it,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and then it rains, and then they're all standing around. They're like, "What's going on?" And then he hits him with his electricity, and that's it.
Yeah,
and
it's
like,
really
oh,
simple.
Man.
It's just like, the kid, like his little antenna shoots a beam up, it makes it rain, and then Arclight's like, okay, they're all wet now. Zap.
Super cool.
Yeah. So no, very cool. And it leaves them all like just burnt, like because that panel afterwards where there's like smoke coming off them,
bodies, and you see Saha just being like, "What the hell have I signed up for?"
Yeah,
here?
well, Saha's horrified. She doesn't know what to do, and that's when she goes into the leader, the doctor's room, and his clothes are just there on the floor, like almost like he's disappeared, like a ghost, and his clothes have been left behind. And then the final page is him getting into a black void. It gives us a name for it. It's the
Antion.
Antion, yeah. But it looks like this weird alien dimension. It looks like it's a desert, but then there's all these floating weird eye things in the sky. And he just says, "Oh Hep, what have you done?" So, who is
what the
Hep?
hell?
Who is Hep exactly?
Right.
And what have they done?
That felt like something out of his Swamp Thing, right? Like
Yeah, it feels like it's dipping into like these more ethereal ideas at the end.
This is where I can see where Matt's coming from with the Morrison influence, because up to this point it feels like it's like a Rucker book.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Tonally, and then all of a sudden it's, or is it?
We're shooting people with black goo, having kids control the weather, and then sending them to this place.
It's like Rucker and Morrison's brainchild.
Yeah, well, I was comparing it last issue. I was saying it reminded me of when I first get into like a Silencer when that came out, and just being kind of like, oh, this is kind of cool having this like unique character with abilities, and it's more of an espionage thing. This is doing that, and the structure of the storytelling so far has been very good. Like both issues have played with structure. The first issue probably more so, but even this one does it a little bit. Where it's playing with the order of events to try and make the events mean more, and I think it does that quite well. So I do think the first issue is better, because the first issue I gave it a really high score because I thought it was an exceptional first issue. I think this is a really good second issue though.
I think I prefer this issue, which again maybe controversial. I think this one just it hooked me a little bit more.
I have no idea what I have literally not heard anyone else talk about this book, so all I know is what we said. So,
don't get me wrong, like the first issue, it's still it's a great issue, but there's a lot of, this is the introduction, right? Which of course it is. It's necessary. This issue, by its nature, was able to be a little bit more focused on, this is a mission. It's still focused on one character, but it's like, okay, this is everything in motion. This is kind of how it functions issue to issue, and I think I enjoyed this more.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess we'll rate the book then. But Vigil is my favorite of the three We Are Legends books. It just clicked with me so much with that first issue, and I think this one didn't do anything to hurt that. So.
I think this is the best of the three books, but I don't know if it's my favorite yet.
That's fair. Matt, what are you giving the book out of 10?
I mean, it's an 8.
Connor?
I'll probably give it an 8.5.
Yeah, I'll give it an 8.5. I give the first one like a 9.5. So I mean, I
yeah,
you know, so far excellent miniseries. Ramvi's really cemented a place in my current DC like Mount Rushmore right now.
I have not read
sure.
anything from Ramvi I didn't enjoy, and I've gone and hunted back a lot of his older stuff. All of it's great.